This single rehearsal video reveals more than a song. It captures the raw, emotional heartbeat of an artist returning home. And the first words he spoke into that microphone after 2 years told the entire story. Welcome back to CelebWorldInsight. The world recently got an unprecedented, intimate look at a star preparing for a major comeback stage. But this wasn't just any practice. This was a moment of reclamation, a quiet yet powerful dialogue between an artist and the craft he'd missed for over 700 days. The scene was a rehearsal studio, bathed in soft, low light. There he sat, centered on the floor, eyes shut. The air was thick with the quiet anticipation of the crew. His posture was one of complete focus, shoulders loose, breath even. He wasn't just warming up his voice. He was steadying his spirit for a monumental return. In his hand, the familiar weight of a microphone felt both foreign and profoundly comforting. When he finally addressed the room, his voice was soft, layered with a vulnerability that immediately hushed everyone. He reflected on the long hiatus, mentioning how strange it felt to hold performance gear again after such a lengthy break. That simple admission set the tone. This was a personal journey as much as a professional one. But then he stood up, and with a calm authority, he began fine-tuning the very atmosphere of the song. He communicated with the audio team, requesting specific adjustments. Let's soften the backing here, he might suggest, or can we lift the mid so the vocal texture cuts through? His instructions weren't demands. They were the meticulous notes of a painter perfecting a canvas. He sought a particular sonic emotion, a feeling where his voice could sit perfectly within the music. After each tweak, he'd listen intently, head tilted, absorbing the mix. Slight nod. Yes, that's closer. The pursuit of perfection was palpable, but it stemmed from passion, not pressure. This was the sound of an artist in complete creative control. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. He lifted the mic. The room seemed to contract, all attention converging on him. The first note that emerged was rich, warm, and instantly recognizable, a voice matured by time yet unchanged in its core resonance. It wasn't a full-powered belt, but a gentle exploration. And it was enough. The exchanged glances among the staff said it all. He hadn't just returned. He'd evolved. As he moved into the full song, the space transformed. His voice carried a newfound depth, an emotional weight that only lived experience can forge. Each phrase felt intentional, each vibrato tinged with the nostalgia of a long-awaited return. The rehearsal room vanished, replaced by the intimacy of a private concert for the few lucky enough to be present. He wasn't just singing notes. He was unpacking 2 years of silent melody. He'd pause occasionally, a soft laugh escaping him as he acknowledged the odd, wonderful feeling of performing again. It feels really good, he'd share, his smile dissolving any lingering tension in the room. These candid moments of joy were as powerful as the music itself. But what happened next proved this was more than nostalgia. It was a masterclass in artistry. He'd stop again, not out of uncertainty, but from a desire to sculpt. Let's try less reverb on the lower section, he'd direct. I need the right ear mix louder to catch the harmony. His engagement was technical, emotional, and deeply respectful of the song's story. With each adjustment, his performance grew more confident, more fluid. Watching him move was its own revelation. A subtle sway with the rhythm, a grounded stance that spoke of physical and artistic strength honed over time. His voice flowed seamlessly from resonant lows to effortless falsetto, a dynamic range that commanded the room. It was breathtaking, prompting silent awe from the professionals around him. In a particularly poignant moment, he rehearsed the bridge repeatedly, searching for the most truthful delivery. The result was a raw, soul-stirring sincerity that raised goosebumps. This was the hurt and the hope in the music, given sound. As the session progressed, a quiet pride settled in the room. His satisfaction was visible after a flawless take. This is the feeling, he confirmed. The phrase wasn't about technical correctness. It was about capturing the essence he'd held in his mind for so long. Nearing the end, he sat back down, mic still in hand, seemingly lost in the afterglow of the music. The journey from tentative reacquaintance to commanding performance was complete. And the final run-through. It was nothing short of cinematic. For his last attempt, he gave it everything. The voice that filled the studio was smooth, powerful, and dripping with emotion. He sang as if for thousands, even though only a handful were there. When the final note faded, a respectful, heartfelt round of applause broke out, not just protocol, but genuine admiration. He smiled, perhaps a little shyly, brushing his hair back. The unspoken message was clear. I'm back. And as he left the studio, he carried with him the quiet certainty of an artist who had reunited with a fundamental part of his soul. This rehearsal was a testament. It proved that true artistry doesn't fade. It deepens. It becomes more nuanced, more intentional, and more powerful. The return wasn't about picking up where he left off, but about moving forward with greater depth. This is the level of analysis we provide here at CelebWorldInsight. If this deep dive into a moment of artistic rebirth resonated with you, please support our channel by hitting the like button. It helps us immensely. And for more content that goes beyond the headlines, make sure to subscribe to Winds of Thought. Stay tuned because